Hey guys, welcome if you are new here. Welcome to Living in the Mom Lane. My name is Mandy. Today we are going to be doing some meal prepping. I went to Sam's Club earlier today. If you have not seen that Sam's Club grocery haul, I will link it up in the iCards and I'll also link it down in the description as well. This is going to probably be over the course of 2 to 3 days. With the baby, it definitely is more challenging trying to get in the kitchen and do a bunch of freezer cooking, but we're just gonna wing it and do what I can. It is actually almost 8 o'clock at night. I still have some of the turkey from Christmas. It's not been quite a week yet, so I do want to hurry up and get that deboned and taken care of and get it in the freezer. I don't want that to go to waste. So the first thing I'm going to make is Southwest turkey soup. Let's go ahead and dive in. So this is our turkey. I still have like over half of the turkey left. We actually went very easy this year for Christmas. I just did not want to be in the kitchen all day cooking. So we ordered the holiday meal from Publix and we got like a 10, I don't know where Jason went, 10 to 11 pound turkey, and we had stuffing, mashed potatoes, sweet potato casserole, but it was really good. I don't know if I'll do it again. It was easy. It was definitely easy. But anyways, this is what's left over from that turkey. So Jason's going to actually go ahead and debone that for me. And I'm going to go ahead and start cutting up the veggies and stuff like that that will go into this soup. All right, so I am going to be doubling this recipe so I can get 2 meals out of it. So what you're seeing is for double. The actual recipe calls for 1 green pepper and 1 onion. You're not going to use those until the day of cooking, but what I'm going to do is go ahead and chop those up and put those in a separate Ziploc bag, but I'm going to keep it with the actual turkey and the rest of the ingredients and put that in the freezer as well. Whenever you get ready to cook, you're going to saute your green pepper and onions before you dump in all the other ingredients. It also calls for 4 ounces of cream cheese, and you're not going to use that until the day that you cook. So I don't have that out right now. The original recipe calls for 2 cups of chopped turkey. I'm going to use 4 cups because I'm doubling it. This onion, you guys, was so darn strong. I was literally crying the entire time I was chopping this up. I have heard of leaving the root on the onion and chop it up that way. I have done that. I have tried everything when it comes to chopping up onions so that my eyes do not water, and nothing seems to work. So if you have another tip for me on how to chop up an onion so that I'm not crying my eyes out, please let me know down in the comments, because I am super sensitive when it comes to cutting up onions. The next meal that I am putting together is beef stew, and I quadrupled this recipe. What you need for the original recipe is 2 pounds of beef stew meat, half a white onion sliced, 2 celery stalks, 4 cloves of minced garlic, 1 14.5 ounce can of diced tomatoes, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, which I did not have, 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, 1 tablespoon of, what's this here, sauce. Y'all know that is the Worcestershire sauce. Or you can use coconut aminos, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of oregano, salt and pepper, and 16 ounces of beef broth, but you'll need that on the day of cooking. So whenever I buy stew meat like this, it comes in these really big chunks, and I don't like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut these up in smaller bite-sized pieces. I just like, whenever I'm eating a stew or a soup or something, I like to have all of the ingredients on my spoon whenever I take a bite. So I just always chop up the stew meat into smaller bite-sized pieces. And I had some celery in the refrigerator, and I'm so glad I found this recipe that I could use it up because it was starting to go bad. I did have to cut off a few bad pieces on some of the stalks. So just chopping all of that up, and then I will put everything in the Ziploc freezer bag and seal it up and toss it in the freezer. Now, I do want to say that on the freezer bags, before I put any ingredients in those, I like to write down what is going in it, what the name of the recipe is, and then I also put down the instructions. If it's for like the crock pot, I'll put that on there and the time that you need to cook it. Or like the previous recipe, you needed cream cheese on the day of the cooking and the green peppers and onions. I'll put that on the Ziploc freezer bag because I know that I'm not going to remember it, and if I don't have the recipe right in front of me or something, so it just makes it easier. So the baby was home. This was on the weekend, and this right here is real mom life. He was cranky. He is at that stage where he has to see me or my husband. If we can be in the same room, like in the kitchen, and he's in the living room, it's all an open floor plan. But if he cannot see us and be right there with us, he pitches a fit. So yeah, that's always the fun stage. But yeah, I just put the pack and play in the kitchen, and he was fine. And at one point, Amelia actually got into the pack and play with him and played with him. So it all worked. That is what I had to do to be able to get all of this done. Up next is teriyaki chicken. For this recipe, you're going to need 3 large chicken breasts, 1 cup of teriyaki sauce, 1 cup of water, 2/3 cup of brown sugar, which I'm using my Swerve because I wanted to keep it lower carb, 3 garlic cloves, and 3 slices of ginger, which is optional. So now I'm just writing down the instructions for this. I ran out of teriyaki sauce. I did not have enough for my very last one. I think I did 4 bags of this. I had a bottle of the Lawry's chicken marinade in the pantry still, and I have no idea what it's going to taste like because I had already started putting all the other ingredients into the bag and then discovered that I wasn't going to have enough teriyaki sauce. So it's going to be a total experiment with that one. So there I am just pouring in the teriyaki sauce, and here it is where I don't have enough teriyaki sauce. So I'm pouring in the Lawry's chicken. I don't even remember which flavor this was either. So it's going to be a surprise for us whenever I pull this one out of the freezer to make. Okay, so what I have managed to get finished, I did the turkey Southwest soup last night. Today I've done the chicken teriyaki and the vegetable beef stew. I still have the taco mix to make, which I'm getting ready to do. The taco meat, chili, spaghetti sauce, hamburger patties, and the Mexican stuffed peppers, and also the Bourbon food court chicken. But I have to wait for the chicken to thaw out for this because you have to use, well, you don't have to use, but it's better if you use chicken thighs, and mine were actually frozen. So I need to let that thaw out what I like to do whenever I'm doing meal prepping and stuff, or freezer cooking, I'm just using my meal planner, my Carry L meal planner. I need to order a new one here. I do have 1 month left over because whenever we got the baby, I did not meal plan at all. I was just overwhelmed. But I just like to put it on the back of one of these. It has your grocery list on this side, and it's perforated to where you can tear it off. So whenever, you know, I want to do a bunch of meal planning and stuff like that, instead of using like a notepad or whatever, I just use the back of one of these. It's saving paper. I do keep my meal planners because I go back through them and just look through and be like, oh yeah, I haven't made that in a while, so I'll make that again. My actual planners that I use, my yearly planner, monthly planner, I don't keep those. I used to, and then I was like, what is the point in keeping these? It's taking up space. I don't look back through them. So I've started tossing those. I kind of feel bad for tossing them, but they don't serve me any purpose once I'm done using them. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and make the taco mix, and I think I had said I'm gonna quadruple that. I don't know yet. We'll just see how much of the spices that I have, but let's go ahead and get started. And that recipe is out of this cookbook, 30-Minute Ketogenic Cooking. It is really good, y'all. It is like the best taco seasoning mix I've ever tasted. I do cut back on the, what is it I cut back on? The cayenne pepper. I don't put as much in it now because it is a little too spicy for the kids. So I do cut back on that. It calls for half a teaspoon. So I do usually like a 1/4 teaspoon, and it still tastes really good. I will definitely link the recipe down in the description because I highly recommend this. I use it all the time. Actually, my cookbook kind of automatically opens to that page because I use it all the time. So, all right, let's get started on making this taco seasoning. For this recipe, you're gonna need 3 tablespoons of chili powder, 3 tablespoons of ground cumin, 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of celery salt, 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 3/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper, and it calls for, like I said earlier, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I only do a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. So I didn't film me actually measuring and putting all of the spices together. I have done this several times probably in videos before, but this is the taco seasoning. It smells so good and it's really good. You just got to make sure whenever you're stirring it and stuff to get out the clumps. Sometimes like my onion powder was starting to clump up a little bit. So you just want to make sure you get out all of the clumps and it's nice and smooth. Whenever you make tacos with the seasoning, let's see, I believe it's a 1/4 cup of the taco seasoning per pound of hamburger meat. And I actually use this like on, if we have leftover chicken and we want to do chicken tacos, I will take this seasoning mix and sprinkle some. I don't use a whole 1/4 cup, but I do sprinkle some of it on the chicken and just kind of heat it up in some oil, mix it up a little bit, and then you have chicken tacos. I do this for shrimp as well. I think that's it that we've done. Fish. I do fish as well. We have fish tacos on occasion. So definitely try this out. You don't have to be keto to make your own taco seasoning. This is so much better than the packets of seasoning that you buy in the store. You're not getting all those added preservatives and things in those packets. So, and it's really, really good. This is so good. And you just want to store it in an airtight container and it will store in your spice cabinet for up to 3 months. I usually finish a batch before 3 months, way before 3 months, because we have tacos all the time. All right, this next little prep is something that I've shared before on some of my videos. These little containers are for hamburger patties or hamburger, and they are by Tupperware, I believe. I got some from a yard sale, and then my mother-in-law gave me some. I want to say my mom might have given me some. I don't remember. But anyways, what I like to do is just sprinkle some garlic salt and some freshly ground pepper in the bottom of them. And then I put some hamburger meat in it,
press it around so that it's nice and flat, smooth. And then once they are all in the containers, then I will sprinkle more garlic, salt, and pepper on the tops of them. Then I just stack them up. They are made to where you can stack them up and they seal. The container that's on the bottom is sealed, and then it has a lid for the top of it. I have an uneven number of containers, so that is what they look like whenever they are all stacked up, and I just toss those in the freezer and freeze them that way. Up next is chili. I am quadrupling this. I believe I had 4 pounds of hamburger meat in the bowl there. What I like to put in my chili is just green pepper, onion, kidney beans. Usually I use light red kidney beans, but Sam's only had dark. Garlic, tomatoes, salt and pepper, garlic salt sometimes. And I also use chili powder, which I didn't have it out at the time. But what I like to do first is saute the onions and green peppers, and then I'll add in the minced garlic and just let that kind of saute a little bit. I will remove that from the pot and then put in the hamburger meat and just brown up that hamburger meat. And then I'll add in the green pepper, onions, garlic, and the rest of the ingredients as well, and bring it to a boil, and then I'll cover it, let it simmer for a while. I don't really have a specific time on how long I let it simmer. The longer you let it simmer, the more tender your hamburger meat will be. So just keep that in the back of your mind if you're going to make a pot of chili. I love using my Dutch oven for making a big pot of chili like this. This turned out really good. We actually ended up having chili that night for dinner because we had to leave and go somewhere. And with the chili, I made grilled cheese sandwiches, and it was delicious.
So this is what the chili looks like. It smells absolutely delicious. I put it in these bowls because I need my Dutch oven for something else. I'm just gonna let these cool down, and once they're cool, then I will put them in the gallon Ziploc freezer bags and lay them flat and put them in the deep freeze.
Now it's time to make the taco meat. I just have all of the hamburger meat. I think I did either 4 or 5 pounds of hamburger. So I just browned it all up and then sprinkled some of the taco seasoning that I had made earlier. Sprinkle that all in there, and then I'll add in just a little bit of water just to give it a little bit of moisture to it, and let it simmer in the pot for a while. Once it's done cooking and it cools down, then I will put it into Ziploc freezer bags and freeze it. I like to prep boiled eggs over the weekend for the upcoming week. It's just something that's easy to grab for the kids if they want a snack, or I can just grab it and put it in their lunchbox for part of their lunch for school. It's just something that's really good. It's a healthy snack for them to have. Next is spaghetti sauce. I am not making spaghetti sauce from scratch, but I still like to go ahead and prep it and freeze it, because on those busy nights after working all day and doing homework and stuff, it's still a lot easier to just pull out a bag of sauce and everything that's already made. It's thawed out. You just have to put it in a pot or even in the microwave, heat it up a little bit, and then cook your pasta, and dinner is done. It makes spaghetti nights even faster. One little trick I was showing there was putting some water into your jar of spaghetti sauce just to get every little bit of that sauce out of there, because you don't want to waste that stuff. All right, next I am just measuring out the hamburger meat, just plain hamburger meat. I'm not doing anything to it. I'm just measuring out about 1 pound. Moving on to my Mexican style stuffed green peppers. I didn't have plain rice cauliflower, so I'm going to use the Spanish style. I have a can of fire roasted diced tomatoes, 4 green peppers, and that taco seasoning mix that I made earlier. And in the Dutch oven, I have a pound of hamburger meat. So I'm going to brown up that hamburger meat and then add in the taco seasoning. I sliced the green peppers in half, lined those up in a freezer oven safe dish. And here I am adding that taco seasoning. I will then add in the can of tomatoes and then that rice cauliflower, mix it up a little bit until it's nice and heated through, and then I stuff that all into the peppers, sprinkle some cheddar cheese on top of that, put the lid on it, freeze it. Whenever we're going to have that for dinner, I'll pull it out of the freezer, put it in the refrigerator, and let it thaw out a couple of days before we're having it, and then put it in the oven, bake it at probably about 350, 375 until everything is heated through.
All right, now I'm getting ready to put together the Keto Food Court Bourbon Chicken, I think is the name of it. I'm not sure. It is by Chef Michael. I have another video dedicated to this recipe. If I can find it, I will link it down below. But what you're gonna need for this recipe is a pound of boneless chicken thighs, boneless skinless chicken thighs. It says that if you don't like dark meat, you can use the chicken tenders instead, or a breast, chicken breast, but it's not gonna be as good as using actual chicken thighs. You need 2 tablespoons of sweetener. I'm gonna be using Swerve. You're gonna need 2 tablespoons of sugar-free ketchup, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, a 1/4 cup of water, which I don't have out just yet, a shot of bourbon, some ground ginger, black pepper, paprika, garlic powder, sea salt, and avocado oil, which that is going to be for whenever you're cooking. You're gonna put that in your skillet and then put your chicken into the skillet. So you don't need the avocado oil for prepping this ahead of time. And I will be using the bourbon. You just use a shot of it. So I'm just gonna put it all in a bowl, mix it all up together, and then I'll divide it into my Ziploc bags. I'm going to probably only do 2 bags and just have more chicken, because my chicken is only, it's not quite 3 pounds, it's 2.86, and we really, really like this chicken. So I'm gonna just make it into two baggies, so we'll have 2 meals of it. So let's go ahead and get started. We're actually gonna have this for dinner tomorrow, so I'm not gonna freeze this one. I'm just gonna put it in the refrigerator, but this one I will go ahead and put in the freezer, and that's it. All right, so to recap, this is everything that I made. It took me 5 days to do this, y'all, but I didn't get to work on it like all day long like I normally would. Because of having the baby, I had to stop, feed him, change him, put him down for naps and all that good stuff. This is all of the hamburger meat that I patted out. There's no seasonings on it or anything like that. We have, I don't even know how many packs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 packs of just plain hamburger meat. I made 3 chicken teriyakis. We've already had one. It was very good, the flavor of it. However, next time I make it, I'm not gonna do it in the crock pot. I just feel like it kind of dried it out a little bit. I did film it for a What's for Dinner, so make sure you have that notification bell turned on so you don't miss that video. This is the one that is gonna be a complete surprise, and I have no idea what it's gonna taste like, so that's that. I have my 4 bags of beef stew, and then all of my taco meat. Let me get to the side. How many did we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think 7 bags of taco meat. I have it all set up on a table out in the garage right by the deep freeze, so I didn't have to carry all of this back inside with me. We have all of my chili. I have 4 of those, 4 bags of chili. We did eat some of this already, so I would have had more than 4 bags of chili. It was very good. I can't wait to eat it again because, you know, it's one of those meals that it tastes better the next day, like spaghetti sauce. Chili is one of those kind of things that, to me, in my opinion, it tastes better the next day. So this is gonna be even better than what it was the first night that we had it. This is the Southwest turkey soup. And these are my onions and green peppers that I have cut up. I have 1 bag for each bag of soup. This is all of my spaghetti sauce. We have 5 bags of spaghetti sauce. And then I did 2 bags of the bourbon chicken, but we had that for dinner already. Absolutely delicious. I almost forgot about these 2 items. This was the hamburger patties. We already had the other stack of hamburger patties, and then my container of stuffed green peppers. So that's a whole nother meal that we have. We are going to be eating good this month. This is all my hard work and labor that I did. Totally worth it. Totally worth the time. You guys, if you haven't tried freezer cooking, give it a try. You do not have to do as much as I did in this video at all. Start out with 2, maybe 3 or 4 meals. Try it, see if you like it. You may not like it at all. You may love it and ask yourself, why the heck have I not been doing this all along? So it will definitely save you money, because you're not going to be eating out on your tip. And even if you have delivery to your home, you still have to pay for delivery fee, or you have to tip that way. It's going to save you time in the long run. Yes, it took a long time for me to do it, but it is so worth it. On those evenings when I come home from work, I already know what is for dinner. All I have to do is either put it in the crock pot that morning, or I can put it in the Instant Pot and it will still be done quickly with everything being prepped. The stuff like the chili or the spaghetti sauce, it's already made. All I have to do basically is just heat it up. So it is totally, totally worth it. I have been freezer cooking for probably at least 10 years that I know of. I know for a fact 10 years, but it's a lifesaver for me. It really does help save us money, and it's the time that it saves me in the evening is amazing. Give it a try. If you do, let me know down in the comments what meals you're gonna be trying to freezer cook. If you already freezer cook, let me know down in the comments what are some of the meals that you make. I love finding new ideas and getting new meals to make, because sometimes I do make the same stuff over and over, but let me know down in the comments. And I just wanna thank you for watching. I know this was kind of a longer video, but thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.